Japfest 2022, if you remember, the food queues were miles long and I went all day without food. So that's why in this video, I'm making my own JDM bento box. And I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of all of it. And that consists of a spam egg musubi for a morning snack, teriyaki chicken for lunch, tuna and crab onigiri, hot dog octopuses, and some Japanese snacks. I bet you never expected that. And to start things off, it's the base of Japanese cuisine, and that is rice. Now I don't mean just any rice, I mean some high grade sushi rice. If you try this with any other rice, believe me, it's not going to turn out good. So I've gone for Akira rice, and I'm going to be cooking for 2 people, so I'm going to use 2 cups of rice. Now this step is absolutely crucial. Wash your dang rice. If you don't wash your rice, you're gonna have the Mulan man off of TikTok shout at you. That and the rice just isn't gonna turn out as good as you want it to. Keep washing it until the water is nice and clear. Usually it takes 4 to 5 washes. Now don't go throwing away this dirty rice water. It's really good for your hair. I'm putting the chef's hat back on. But if, like me, you've got no hair, there are some good uses for this water. Rice water is actually really good for your plants. It's a natural pesticide and fertilizer. The plants love it. So I've got 2 cups of rice in there and I've filled it up to the 2 mark. Of course you can use the finger method. Of course you can cook your rice just in a normal saucepan. But for a perfect result every time, get yourself a rice cooker. Now with the rice all washed and in water, I'm gonna pop this in the rice cooker and leave it to soak for about half an hour. This is gonna help the water soak into the rice, making a nice soft sticky rice. Once that's been soaking in the rice cooker for half an hour, it's time to start that rice cooking. Unfortunately, mine doesn't make a nice musical tune. That's the rice all cooked. And while it's still warm, I'm going to sprinkle on some Japanese rice vinegar. And then combine that in with the rice. And now onto the spam egg musubi. I'm not sure how or why this is a thing in Japan, but they do like a bit of spam. So I'm going to grab that and cut 4 nice 1/4-inch sections. Then in a small frying pan, we want to preheat some oil on a nice medium heat and drop in the spam. And when that's nice and golden, flip it over. Crack 2 large eggs in a jug. Believe me, you want a jug for this process. Add just a crack of black pepper and a little bit of salt. Give that a good whisk up. Make sure it's all combined. To cook the Japanese style omelette, I would suggest buying a rectangle omelette pan. It does work a hell of a lot better. Whack that on the hob. I'm going to add a little bit of butter and I'm going to turn that up to a medium heat. Believe me, you don't want this on as high as you can get it. The egg will not turn out super fluffy. Once that's heated up, you can add a little bit of egg in. Not a lot. And spread that around to all the edges. Now just before that's fully cooked, we can start rolling it up. Grab a tiny bit of butter on a rag and work that around the pan a little bit. Add some more egg in, lift the previous roll up and drop some egg underneath it. Give it a few seconds and then start rolling that up again. And there we have our nice Japanese rolled omelette. Probably could have done this with the pan a little bit cooler. I know on the inside, it's still soft and fluffy. Cut the egg roll in half. Now to form the rice, I've got a little water bowl here to wet my hands first, as handling the rice can be really sticky and it's more manageable with slightly wet hands. So grab a nice portion of sushi rice and start to form it in the shape of the spam. Put a nice line of mayonnaise on it. Don't just use any mayonnaise, use a good Japanese mayonnaise like Kewpie. Believe me, you'll notice the difference between normal mayonnaise and Kewpie. And then the egg, and then the spam. Now time to wrap this up. Grab yourself a nori sheet. With a nice clean pair of scissors, we want to cut a nice 1/2-inch strip. Then you can place it on top of the nori sheet. Now the trick here is to get a grain or two of slightly wetter rice and just mash it down on the end as if to make a little paste. And then wrap the nori sheet round. And there you have it, a spam egg musubi. Now onto the chicken teriyaki and rice. For the teriyaki glaze, we're going to take 1/4 cup of dark soy sauce, 1/4 cup of light soy sauce, 1/4 cup of mirin or sake, 1/3 cup of honey, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a teaspoon of ginger, and a teaspoon of minced garlic. Mix that well, grab 2 chicken breasts and cut off all the nasty bits. And then cut that into some nice strips. Usually I would use chicken thigh, but the grocery store only had bone-in thighs, and that seemed like too much effort. Chicken thighs can be a lot tastier. And then whack them all in a bowl. In that bowl, we're gonna add some corn flour, just enough to coat the chicken, a little bit of paprika, and just a pinch of MSG. And then combine that all together, making sure that chicken is fully coated. To a wok, add about 2 tablespoons of oil and put it on medium heat. And then you can add your chicken. Once that's cooked through and golden, we can add our teriyaki glaze. Now just simmer this on a medium to high heat until the sauce has thickened up. If it hasn't thickened up enough within about 5 minutes, add a tiny bit of corn flour slurry. Just a little bit at a time until you've got the desired thickness you want. And then it's time to serve up. Add a nice portion of rice and a good serving of teriyaki chicken. Finish that off with a little bit of green onion and a sprinkling of sesame seeds. With the chicken teriyaki cooked and plated up, it's now time to move on to the afternoon snacks. First off, the onigiri. Drain some tuna and put it in the bowl. Add some Kewpie mayo and a dash of soy sauce. Then mix that all up. If you wanted spicy tuna wraps, you could replace the mayo and soy sauce for some sriracha mayo. Lay some cling film on your bench. This is going to help you shape the onigiri, and place down a small handful. Flatten it out slightly, add a small spoonful of the tuna to the center, and then use the cling film to work it into shape. What we're aiming for here is a nice rounded triangle, something like that. And then cut a nice rectangle of nori sheet and wrap it around the onigiri. And then for the crab onigiri, we're going to take a few crab sticks and shred them up. Cut that up a little bit smaller if you feel you need to, and add that all to a bowl. Add some Kewpie mayo and mix that all up. And then add that to the onigiri just like you would the tuna. Of course, if you wanted to, you could roll these in some sesame seeds or some 5 spice, or fill them with whatever filling you want. Perfect to go with the onigiri is some nice hot dog octopuses. I've got a jar of mini hot dogs, so I'm going to drain them off. To make our little octopuses, we want to cut about halfway up the body 3 times, and then cut it a little mouth, and then poke it 2 little eyes. And then just do this with the rest. I've got a pan of not quite boiling water. I'm going to add a tiny pinch of salt and then add my little octopus sausages and just leave that to simmer for about 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, you can go ahead and pull them out of the water. And then hopefully they look a little something like this. You can go ahead and put little sesame seeds in the eye sockets we made to make them look a little bit more friendly. I'm going to let these cool down before packing them up, and then it's ready to go in our bento box along with our octopus hot dogs. And for our snacks, we've got a selection of Pocky sticks and some Hello Panda biscuits. So that's me all set for Japfest. I'm not going hungry this time. Let me know in the comments below if you've made your own bento box for Japfest. As per usual, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one, if not at Japfest. chef.